Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to AD&D Second Edition Read-Through Player's Handbook. We've talked about wizard spells, we've talked about pre-spells. Now we're going to find out how to read spell descriptions to get the juicy goodness knowledge so I can cast things on people and make them turn into bats and blow up in flames and all the cool stuff I want to do. So let's get right to it.
She turned me into a newt.
To a newt, you say?
Got better.
Got better. The spells are organized according to their group, priest or wizard, and level listed in appendices 3 and 4. Within each level, the spells are arranged alphabetically. At the start of each spell description is the following important game information. Name of the spell, or else we don't know what the hell we're talking about. Each spell is identified by name. In parentheticals, after the name is the school to which that spell belongs. When more than one is listed, that spell is common to all schools given. Some spells are reversible. They can be cast for an effect opposite to that of the standard spell. This is noted after the spell name. Priests with reversible spells must memorize or pray to the desired version. For example, a priest who desires to cause light wounds must petition his god for that form of cure light wounds when meditating and praying. Note that severe penalties can result if the spell choice is a variance with the priest's alignment. Possible penalties include denial of specific. Okay, yeah. If your god is a sissy pansy pacifist beatnik nonsense god, and you try and ask for a cause light wounds variant of cure light wounds, he's going to clutch his pearls and not give you anything. Yeah, especially there are spells in here that this will turn your alignment evil, or this will turn your alignment good. It'll say that. And if you do that and it goes against your god's alignment, then you and he are going to have some words.
So I'm pretty hardcore about that as well. If you're following a good god, even if your god leans towards battle, like we'll just say a god of paladin or something like that, I still don't let you take cause light wounds. And the reason for that is this. I find that most of the time, those are players, not characters, that are trying to get the best of both worlds. If you want to do damage, generally speaking, there's some notable examples, but that refute this. But you play a wizard.
Yep.
Your job now, if you want to play a priest and do damage, sure, be evil, because you're trying to sow pain and suffering and whatever else out there.
Right.
But if you're following a good god, I generally don't allow you to, unless it specifically says in a write-up, like I'm using Forgotten Realms gods or something, unless it specifically says in a write-up there, allowed the reverse of the spell as well. I don't generally give those to you because that's not following a good god.
Right. I get it. That's completely fair. Reversible wizard spells operate similarly. When the spell is learned, both forms are recorded in the wizard spell books. However, the wizard must decide which version he wants to commit to memorization. And whichever one he doesn't, he can't cast that version. School. In parentheticals, after the spell's name is the name of the school of magic to which the spell belongs. For wizard spells, this defines which spells a wizard specialist can learn, depending on the wizard school of specialization. For pre-spells, the school notation is used only for reference purposes to indicate which school the spell is considered to belong to in case the DM needs to know for spell resistance. For example, elves' resistance to charm spells. A pre-spell that acts like a charm spell, an elf would have resistance to.
90%?
Yeah. Sphere. This entry appears only for pre-spells and identifies the sphere or spheres to which that spell falls. Some gods don't have access to all the spheres of spells to give to their priests, so you may not have access to a spell you want.
Something to note is that it's either in the priest's handbook or it's in what's that book called? One of the magic books, I forget what it is. They added more spheres in there, like the ward sphere, the I can't remember what they all are, but there are more spheres. So if you see spheres that don't match the player's handbook, that means it came out after a certain date where those extra spheres were added.
It's in a supplement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Range. This lists the distance from the caster at which the spell occurs or begins. A 0 indicates a spell can be used on the caster only with the effect embodied within or emanating from him. Touch means the caster can use the spell on others if he can physically touch them. Unless otherwise specified, all other spells are centered on a point visible to the caster and within the range indicated. The point can be a creature or object if desired. In general, a spell that affects a limited number of creatures within an area affects the closest to the center of the area first, unless there are other parameters, such as level or hit dice. Spells can be cast through narrow openings only if both the caster's vision and the spell energy can be directed simultaneously through the opening. Let me give you an example. A wizard standing behind an arrow slit can cast through it. Sending a fireball through a small peephole he is peeping is another matter. Now, a delayed blast fireball, I believe, is a super tiny thing until it reaches its range and then explodes.
I've heard people complain and say that spell is useless because it's so high level, does less damage, blah, blah, blah. Dude, that's just the idea that it's a ticking time bomb that you use as a trap. Sure, it's a higher level spell. I think I like the spell. I like it for the fact of check this crap out. Now we can get away. And then kabooyah.
Yeah. I mean, if like you can cast a lightning bolt through a hole in the wall, right? As long as it's big enough, as the DM says how thick or the width of a lightning bolt is. And if you have a hole in the wall, that's
remember, lightning bolts might reflect depending on the dungeon master.
Well, that's the cool part of casting it through a hole. You cast it and then you do it like that. And if it reflects, it has to be exactly backward, which is probably not going to happen. So there's that. Components. This lists the category of components needed. V is for verbal, S for somatic, and M for material. Verbal is you must be able to speak to cast the spell and speak the correct words or phrases. S is somatic. It means you have to use gestures. So if your hands are tied or bound in some way, you may not be able to cast a spell. And M is for material. If you use the optional material components, then these are the spells that require material components. If you don't have them, then the spell won't work. Priest's holy symbols are not lost when a spell is cast, but other material components are. Basically, if it doesn't specifically say the material components are not consumed, they're consumed. Duration. This lists how long the magical energy of the spell lasts. Spells of instantaneous duration come and go the moment they are cast, like fireball, lightning bolt, magic missile. They're there, they do their thing, and then they're gone. Right? Although the results of these may be permanent. If you get killed by a lightning bolt, you're permanently dead. Spells of permanent duration last until the effects are negated by some means, usually by dispel magic. Some spells have a variable duration. In most cases, the caster cannot choose the duration of spells. Spells with a set durations, for example, 3 rounds per level, must be kept track of by the player. See, just offload that from the GM to the player. Did my spell, I don't know how many rounds has it been? I don't know. Well, then no, it already elapsed. But there's no way. Well, can you tell me, have you been keeping count? No. Well, then it lapsed. Sorry, buddy. Do better next time. There you go. And things that are random are secretly rolled and recorded by the DM. Your DM may warn you when a spell durations are approaching expiration, but there is usually no sign that a spell is going to expire. Check with your DM, determine exactly how he handles this issue. So, for example, if your DM handles expiring duration spells like it looks like it's fading away, like if you have like I don't know, fog or death cloud or whatever, it'll get as it approaches its maximum duration, it'll get thinner and thinner and thinner.
Incendiary cloud
will get less hot looking or whatever. But it doesn't have to. It could look like it's 100% right up until it's not. That's completely valid as well. Certain spells can be ended at will by the caster. In order to dismiss these spells, the original caster must be within range of the spell's center of effect, within the same range at which the spell can be cast. The caster must also be able to speak words of dismissal. Note that only the original caster can dismiss his spells this way. Yeah, this doesn't need any more.
No, it doesn't. I mean, that's why you have the dispel magic spell, right?
Yeah, for dispelling other people's spells.
Right.
Casting time. This entry is important. If the optional casting time rules are used, stop it. Stop it. If you use weapon speed, you must use casting time. You must. You must. Sorry. That's just how it is. If you don't do that, you are screwing over everyone who's not a magic user.
And remember, some people say, "Oh, it's just more bookkeeping." So it's just to the initiative roll. It's nothing more than to the initiative roll. That's not that hard. If you can't add 2 + 7, I don't know what to tell you, because you're already adding a ton of other modifiers for other abilities in the game. But between the fighter and the mage, it gives them more tactical choices. Do you need a fast spell right now, or do you have time and the ability to cast something that's going to take you maybe even a turn, let alone a round or so to cast? Casting times are absolutely fantastic, as is weapon speed. I think they're both fantastic. Are you going to use that claymore at the speed factor of 8 or whatever it is, or are you going to use a dagger with a speed factor of 2?
And for initiative, there is an optional rule, I believe, in this book. We haven't gotten to it yet, but if a weapon speed or casting time pushes you over initiative of 10, it actually happens on the next round on that initiative -10. So if you rolled a 9 for initiative and you have a claymore, let's just say he's right and it's a weapon speed of 8, that's 17. It actually goes on initiative 7 the next round. That's is that pedantic and stupid? Some people think so.
Well, we didn't do it next round. It just meant you went on the 17th segment of this round. It's the same thing as when people so at least the way I do it.
I get it. It's just
but I mean,
I think it's a neat idea
to wait till the next round.
Yeah.
What if you have 2 attacks per round?
Yeah. Sorry. Area of effect. This lists the creatures, volume, dimensions, weight, etc. that can be affected by the spell. Spells within the area or volume that can be shaped by the caster will have a minimum dimension of 10 feet in any direction, unless the spell description specifically states otherwise. Thus, a cloud that has a 10-foot cube per caster level might, when cast by a 12th level caster, have dimensions of 10 by 10 by 120, 20 by 20 by 30, or any similar combination that totals 12 10-foot cubes.
I hope you remember your formulas from 6th grade.
There you go. Combinations such as 510 times 240 are not possible unless specifically allowed. It has to. Okay. You get used to doing this math. You get used to it after you do it a few times. You go up a level. I was level 1. Now I'm level 2. Now instead of 10 by 10 by 10, it's 10 by 10 by 20. Total area in any combination that makes that total area. Right? So there you go.
So one of the reasons, and this is more for the newer players that might be looking back at a game like this, like that doesn't make sense. Why can't you do 5 by 10 by 240? Because in early editions of Dungeons and Dragons, they weren't 5-foot squares, they were 10-foot squares. Mm-hmm. And so and that compounded on top, which is why you see it's 10 foot per level, not 5 foot per level. So you compound those two things together, and 5 just isn't an option. Just it's gamification again. Remember, it is a game.
It's the mechanics of the game, and it would break internally, and no one likes that. Some spells, such as Bless, affect the friends or enemies of the caster. The opposite of Bless is Curse. In all cases, this refers to the perception of the caster at the time the spell is cast. If you have a traitor on your team, but you don't know he's a traitor, he will be affected by Bless because you think he's a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And he won't be affected by Curse because you think he's a friend, even though he's actually an enemy.
Comes out, you cast the spell, and all of a sudden 3 of your teammates come out with the pox, and you're like,
dude, I thought you were my friends. What the hell? Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Yeah. That would be kind of game breaking at that point.
Yeah, yes, it would.
Saving throw. This lists whether the spell allows the target a saving throw and what that saving throw is. Either negate, half damage, none, whatever. Wisdom adjustments to saving throws apply to enchantment charm spells. Solid physical barriers provide saving throw bonuses and damage reduction. Cover and concealment may affect saving throws and damage, it should say, because cover and concealment are two different things. A creature that successfully saves against a spell with no apparent physical effects, such as Charm, Hold, Magic Jar, may feel a definite force or tingle that is characteristic of a magical attack if the DM desires. But the exact hostile spell effect or creature ability used cannot be deduced from this tingle unless they have experience in the past and had it explained to them.
Unfortunately, in my experience, that is too much of a tell for players. Be like, the hackles on your neck rise. What's going on? Who did it? Where is it? So I don't even bother with that. If the charm fails, you're none the wiser.
Okay. A being's carried equipment and possessions are assumed to make their saving throws against special attacks if the creature makes its saving throw, unless the spell specifically states otherwise. If the creature fails its saving throw, or if the attack form is particularly potent, the possessions also fail and could be damaged in some way. Any character can voluntarily forego a saving throw. This allows a spell or similar attack that normally grants saving throw to just work. Likewise, a creature can voluntarily lower its magic resistance to allow a spell to automatically function. This is usually done for, beneficial stuff. Like Billy is going to cast, True Seeing on me. I have 50% magic resistance. I'm going to lower that because I want this to work.
I'm not going to lie. Either I forgot about that rule or tossed that rule out. The second part. The first part, yes, you can voluntarily lower your saving throw to allow a spell. But magic resistance, I never, at least that I can remember, allowed that to drop. That is both the boon and the bane of you playing that whatever class or race or whatever is giving you that. If you're 50% magic resistant, that means 50% of the time somebody tries to heal you, it's not going to work. But 50% of the time somebody tries to throw a fireball in your noodle, also not going to work.
Okay, well, according to the rules...
So yeah, either I threw it out or I just never remembered that. I don't know, because that language you read right there, even though I'm seeing on the screen, is foreign to these eyes. I don't ever remember reading that.
All right. Spell description. The text provides a complete description of how the spell functions and its game effects. It covers most typical uses of the spell if there are more than one, but cannot deal with every possible application players might find. In these cases, the spell information in the text should provide guidance on how to adjudicate the situation. Spells with multiple functions enable the caster to select which function he wants to use at the time of casting. Usually, a single function of a multifunction spell is weaker than a single function spell of the same level. Spell effects that give bonuses or penalties to abilities, attack rolls, damage rolls, saving throws, whatever, are not usually cumulative with each other or with other magic. The strongest single effect applies. So if you have two priests who cast bless spells on your party, it's the better one.
Well, so it's +1.
Yeah, it's just +1. In that instance, it's just +1. I already did example.
But for aid, when you get that D8 roll, hey, his priest, his god sucked. Can you roll an 8 also, see if we can get a better result?
There you go. Now we are going to look at spell description. We're going to look at the table. Where's the spells? They are wizard spells. We'll look at wizard spells and priest spells. We're definitely going to look at that spectral steed thing.
Okay. I have 3, but I have a reason for it. If that's too many, then fine. But they each have a very particular reason why I wanted to look at them. And I think they're all wizard spells.
Okay.
I don't care so much about priest spells, but I can pick up a couple of those too if necessary.
Okay, wizard spell. Where's that?
It's like 5th, I think. 5th or 6th? Or is it 4th?
No. It's not 5th. It's not 6th.
It'd be phantasmal something. Also, is it from the player's handbook or was he grabbing it from somewhere else?
If he's grabbing somewhere else, I'm going to kill him.
Oh, there it is. I see it. It's
Phantom Steed.
Yep, Phantom Steed.
Phantom Steed. That's 3rd level. Okay.
Oh, wow. I didn't think it was that low.
Yeah, I thought it was at least 4. Okay, we're going to look at that. Mount. This is still 1st level? Come on. Yeah, still 1st level. What the hell? Continue light, bind, deafness, flaming sphere, forget, good dust, blah, blah, blah. Come on. Dude, I gotta be spectral hand. Tasha's crappy laughter. Third, here we go. Finally. All right. All right. Phantom Steed. Here we go. All right. Conjuration and Phantasm. It's 2 schools. All right. So that is important if you're a specialist. Range is touch. Okay. Components are verbal and somatic. So it doesn't require material components if you use the optional rule for material components, but it does require you to be able to talk and move your hands.
Oof, I don't need to have a horse as a component.
There you go. Duration is 1 hour per level of caster. Casting time is 1 turn. It takes 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Because obviously you're doing this out of combat.
You're harvesting the phantasmal power. You're just kind of roping it in here
to make something quasi real. Yes. Area effect special. That means it's going to be in the description. Saving throw none, because this doesn't affect anybody. Let's read it. When this spell is cast, the wizard creates a quasi-real horse-like creature. The steed can be ridden only by the wizard who created it, or by any person for whom the wizard specifically creates such a mount. That means if he if he specifically creates it for Billy, only he and Billy can ride that horse. Okay. So if it's important, if you want a passenger on your spectral steed, you say, I specifically make it for my passenger, because you and the passenger can use it, which means now you can both ride it. Yay. Phantom Steed has a black head and body, gray mane and tail, and smoke-colored insubstantial hooves that make no sound. That is pretty cool looking. Its eyes are milky colored. That's kind of unnerving. It does not fight, but all normal animals shun it, and only monstrous ones will attack. Okay, it's a regular animal repellent. Okay. The mount has an armor class of 2, pretty good. 7 hit points, pretty crappy. Plus 1 per level of the caster. Oh, that's better.
Well,
if it loses all its hit points, the Phantom Steed disappears. A Phantom Steed moves at a movement rate of 4 per level of the spellcaster to a maximum rate of 48. So this is a level 3 spell, which means you're what, 5 or 6?
5.
5. So that means it starts off at a movement rate of 20.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, a riding horse is 24.
Yeah.
So this can go double. If I'm remembering correctly, I think it's 24. So this goes double the rate of a riding horse, or can go up to double. But you know what? If you're that level, somebody's probably got a Pegasus in the party anyway.
Yeah, probably.
And it took one of your stupid spell slots at 3rd level.
It did. It has what seems to be a saddle and a bit and bridle. It can bear its rider's weight plus up to 10 pounds per caster level. Again, you're starting at level 5, so it's 50 pounds more. So, yeah, if you have a halfling friend or a hobbit, you can have him be with you. These mounts gain certain powers according to the level of the wizard. If the wizard is 8th level, the ability to pass over sandy, muddy, or even swampy ground without difficulty. 10th
it's a
level,
phantasm. Why didn't he get that right off the bat?
I don't know. 10th level, the ability to pass over water as if it were firm, dry ground. That's cool. 12th level, the ability to travel in the air as if it were firm land. So chasms in the light can be crossed without benefit of a bridge. Note, however, the mount cannot casually take off and fly. The movement must be between points of similar altitude.
Okay.
You can't just, start going up like this.
You're doing the ET thing through the moon.
Yeah, you're not doing that. 14th level, the ability to perform as if it were a Pegasus. It flies at a rate of 48 per round upon command.
Oh, cool.
Note that mount's abilities include those of lower levels. So if you're level 14, you also get 12, 8, and 10. So yes, I wouldn't say it's OP. I would say it grows with the caster's level, which is nice.
I think there's a lot of limitations to it. It's not OP at all.
It makes the spell useful throughout a mage's career. Mm-hmm. So I like it.
The things that would make it OP would also separate you from the party most of the time. So, and it's got 15 hit points if you're lucky. I mean,
I like the fact that it repels all other normal animals.
They just shun it. Not necessarily repels, they just shun it.
Oh, that same thing. They're not bothering me. So there you go. I'm good with that. I'm fine. I actually like that. I like that. Because, you know what else is a normal animal? Mosquito. Ha! Bug repellent. That's right. Love it. All right. You have a wizard spell? Or
so like I said, each one of these comes with a reason why I want to look at it. I'll let you pick.
Look at one more wizard spell. So
well, then I want to argue a little bit. So let's go to invisibility. It's also second or third level.
Okay. Invisibility 10-foot radius is third level, so that's got to be
probably second. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. No. What the hell? I wrote not invisibility, teleport. Jeepers creepers. I think that's a third or fourth level spell. Why did I write down invisibility? It's teleport.
I don't know.
Care about invisibility?
Well, there are some adjudication nonsense with the
there's a difference between improved invisibility. I get that, but no, this particularly teleport is what I wanted, and I could have sworn that was a fourth level spell with improved teleport being 6th or 7th, or teleport without area.
Polymorph.
For whatever reason, I have freaking invisibility stuck in my head.
You sure about that?
I'll just Control F, teleport. Okay, can't be in there that often.
Wow, apparently it is in there that often.
Or it can't. What the?
Wow.
Using the green book, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get you the exact page.
Give me the page number. You can trick people into thinking you can teleport with invisibility. That's true. That is true. Use invisibility as a sideshow teleport.
5th level spell, page 219.
219. Oh, I was close. Teleport. Here we go. Okay, first I'm going to go over the stuff. It's an alteration school, which means it, changes something, which is your location. Range is touch. So it's you or anything you can touch, apparently, but we'll get in the description. Components are verbal, only verbal. So you can be tied up, but you can't be gagged. Duration instantaneous. Casting time of 2, which means it adds 2 to your initiative because of the verbal component. It's not a lot of words.
That's a really quick spell, by the way, especially being 5th level. It should be 5.
It's like boobly bop, and that boof, yep. And then that's it. Area effect special, that means it's described. Saving throw none, because it probably only works on willing participants. So when this spell is used, the wizard instantly transport himself along with a certain amount of additional weight that is on or being touched by the spellcaster to a well-known destination. Distance is not a factor, but interplanar travel is not possible by means of teleport spell. The spellcaster is able to teleport a maximum weight of 250 pounds plus an additional 150 pounds for each level of experience above 10. Okay. The destination area is very familiar to the wizard. He has a clear mental picture of it due to previous proximity, or he loves it there. It is unlikely there is any error in arrival, although the caster has no control over his facing upon arrival. Lesser known areas, those seen only magically or from a distance, increase the probability of error. Unfamiliar areas present considerable peril. And we have this very familiar. This is the probability of teleporting. High, on target, low. Well, what the hell does that mean? Teleporting high means the wizard arrives 10 feet above the ground for every percentage he is below the lowest on-target probability. For example, if you are very familiar with someplace and you roll an @1, you are 2% below the minimum on target, which means you are 20 feet in the air. That's going to be rough.
Well, 20 feet here would just mean I end up landing on my ceiling, or not my roof, but roof. Hey.
But, if you're not expecting it, then you could roll off the roof and fall on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good
that's
a good way to break a limb.
That 1% chance, though, that you go low, that's a problem.
Yeah, the low is the problem. Let's see. Any low result means the instant death of the wizard if the area in which he teleports is solid. A wizard cannot teleport to an area of empty space. A substantial surface must be there, whether a wooden floor, stone floor, natural ground, whatever. Areas of strong physical or magical energies may make teleportation more hazardous. Okay, so here's the thing. If you have a teleport destination and you consider it a safe space, I would not consider it a safe space unless it has a basement or 2 sub basement. Because look at this, the most you could be low is 14. That's 140
feet.
Okay, well, you're just dead. But if you're very familiar with a place, you can only be off by 10 feet. That means if the place has a normal size floor basement, you're fine. And a normal size upstairs, you're also fine. Aim for the middle, most likely, you'll be okay.
My issue is I see, like, across the 30 whatever years that I've played this, I very rarely see people roll on this. And when I pull it out and make them roll, they get angry with me.
Really?
Dude, you picked the spell knowing this. The seventh, I think it's seventh level version.
Level is teleport without error, and I even that sounds like a 1% chance of error, right?
I don't think it has any percent. I could be wrong, but I don't think it has any percent chance of error. But you have to know the location or whatever. But here's the thing: the teleport is not supposed to be used willy-nilly. It's not a blink spell.
No.
It's meant to be used. We just got the Sword of Doom. We're being chased by people. Wizard,
it is an oh shit button. It's a parachute. Parachutes don't open 100% of the time.
But it's also, wizard, take this crap back to the lair. We will handle. We'll see you in a week, or whatever. But get this thing out of here. We'll slow these guys down. What you're doing, you need to save the world, or whatever happens to be. This. And especially when it comes to, well, I rode through the area. I think I'm pretty familiar with it, dude. No, I this block that I live on.
Seen casually,
right?
Or viewed once.
I drive down the road a bunch of times, to the houses that live around me, right? I haven't been in their backyards to know everything, exactly which person's got a shed or whatever. I am not very familiar with that. You might be, but I always see this hand waved, and it really, really annoys me. If you don't like it, then just take it out of the game and wait till you have improved. Teleport without error.
Yeah. Personally, I would not feel safe unless I was rolling on these two.
Right.
This is fine. This is survivable in most cases, except of course if you roll low and you don't have a basement.
I mean, the odds are highly in your favor enough where you could do it a couple times and not feel that.
Still feel okay. Fine. Okay. And a 40-foot fall is what? 4d6 damage?
Yeah.
I might be okay with that.
And you might have Featherfall.
Yeah, and you might have a Ring of Featherfall, whatever. That's fine.
Remember, it's a 5th level spell. You're what, 11th level or whatever when you cast this?
Yeah, you have Featherfall. It's fine. Just take a precaution, take a Featherfall pill, and then boom, you're fine. Well, 98% of the time, you'll be okay.
And just one last thing. The people who complain about this, oh, that's so stupid. No, it's not. It's supposed to show that it's supposed to be a tactical spell, not something that just pops you around the world constantly whenever you want. That's number one. Number two, you have the improvement later. Just if it's that important to you, wait until later. Now, while he's looking up a couple spells real quickly, I do want to talk just real quick about haste and permanency. Haste ages you. Don't take the aging out.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. It is a detriment of the spell. It's just like Wish. Wish ages you too. Don't take that out either. Was it like 5 or 10 years? Limited Wish does 1 or 3 or something like that. Don't take that out. Haste, you are burning through your body when you do it. Don't hand wave that. Come on.
And then finally, permanency. Permanency, if I remember correctly, takes a constitution point from you, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah. That's another thing. Well, and then how do we get magic items all over the place? Because you had a whole ton of wizards throughout all of time. First of all,
these things.
Yeah, little things like potions of healing don't cost a permanent.
No,
don't use permanency on that. But to
but,
make like a
magic
wand of
swords and rings and stuff that
right.
that persist. That is going to take that's why all of the great wizards have canes and they're all like all stringy and shit, because they made a couple of permanent magic items and it affected them.
And you could also think of this like I do. This is why I like to run lower magic worlds, because not every wizard's going to want to give up that constitution point.
No. Whatever. Now, the first pre-spell we're going to look at is Bark Skin, because this one is good. It's just a good spell.
Mm-hmm.
Is an alteration school to, again, it's a sphere, obviously, but for resistance purposes, you have to make it a school. The spheres are protection and plant, which means if you have access to either of these, you get it. Range, touch. Components, verbal, somatic, and material. All right, so you need a material. If you use the optional rules, you need a material component. Duration is 4 rounds plus 1 round per level. So this is a very defined thing. You know exactly how long this is going to last, because this is done for combat. So you want to know. You want to know how long your bark skins got. And so they did not make it any random rolls, which is nice. Casting time 5, add 5 to your initiative. Area effect 1 creature. Saving throw none, because this is beneficial and you mostly want it. When a priest casts the bark skin spell upon a creature, its skin becomes as tough as bark, increasing its base armor class to 6, plus 1 for every 4 levels of the priest. 5 at 4th level, 4 at 8th level, and so on. This spell does not function in combination with any normal or any magical protection. Now, notice it didn't say magical armor. It said magical protection. So your bracers of armor class, whatever, or your ring of protection is not going to be an additive thing to this. Normally, a ring of protection is an additive thing. It adds on to whatever armor you're already wearing. This specifically says it does not. In addition, saving throw rolls versus all attacks form except magic gain a +1 bonus. This spell can be placed on the caster or any other creature he touches. In addition to his holy symbol, the caster must have a handful of bark from an oak as the material component for this spell, if you use material components. This one I like because it's lowish level. And it is a significant bonus to protection, especially at low levels. Having an automatic armor class 6, was that chainmail?
Chainmail's 5.
Chainmail's 5? Okay, so Bart...
Brigandine or whatever.
Brigandine, yeah, that's it. So that is not nothing. Especially for a druid who is not allowed to wear really good armor. Or armor at all, maybe.
I think we're natural armor.
Natural armor, yeah. Leather. That's basically it. But you get bark skin, boom, you graduated. Good job. So this is a significant spell for lower levels, and it scales. Armor class 5 at 4th level, 4 at 8th level, and that means 12th level is going to be 3. And then 16th level is going to be 2, and 20th level is going to be 1.
I didn't use this much as a druid, but on myself, but I gave it to the wizard a lot. Oh yeah,
because the wizard's usually parking around an 8 or a 10 at most, at most times. So giving him a 6, be like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. And the next one is charm person or mammal. This one I never see priests use this. I don't. Okay. Let's find out why. Maybe there's a reason. It's an enchantment charm. The sphere is animal because apparently people are animals too. Range is 80 yards. Verbal and somatic components. Duration is special. Casting time 5, adds 5 to initiative. Area effect 1 person or mammal. Saving throw negates. That means if the person makes their save, it doesn't happen. This spell affects a single person or mammal as cast upon. The creature then regards the caster as a trusted friend and ally to be heeded and protected. The term person includes any bipedal human, demi-human, or humanoid of man size or smaller, including brownies, dryads, dwarves, elves, gnolls, gnomes, goblins, half-elves, halflings, half-orcs, blah, 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 blah. Thus, a 10th level fighter is included while an ogre is not. The spell does not enable, if it's a monster, then it's not. Definitely not, but humanoid monster, maybe. The spell does not enable the caster to control the charmed creature as if it were an automaton, but any word or action of the caster is viewed in the most favorable way. Thus, a charmed creature would not obey a suicide command, but might believe the caster if is assured that the only chance to save the caster's life is for you to hold back the onrushing red dragon just for a minute or two. The subject's attitudes and priorities are changed with respect to the caster, but basic personality and alignment are not. A request that a victim make itself defenseless, give up a valued item, or even use a charge from a valued item might allow an immediate saving throw to see if the charm is thrown off. Likewise, a charmed creature does not necessarily reveal everything it knows or draw maps of entire areas. A request may be refused if such refusal is in the character and does not directly harm the caster. The victim's regard for the caster does not necessarily extend to the caster's friends or allies. The victim does not react well to the charmer's allies making suggestions such as, well, ask him this question. Nor does the charmed creature put up with any verbal or physical abuse from the charmer's associates, if this is out of character. Oops. Note also that the spell does not empower the caster with linguistic capability beyond those what he normally has. So if you don't speak Dryad or whatever, and you charm a Dryad, you're still not going to have a conversation, right? You know, the Dryad's going to like you, but you're not going to get useful information out of it. And the just like the wizard spell, the duration is fully dependent on the intelligence of the victim. Note that the spell does not blah, blah, blah. Duration of the spell is a function of the charmed creature's intelligence and it is tied to the saving throw. A successful saving throw breaks a spell. The saving throw is checked on a periodic basis according to the creature's intelligence. So when you initially cast it, boom, saving throw is checked. If failed, and the intelligence of the victim who failed is, say, 5, it doesn't get a check until 2 months from now. Then it gets a check again. And if it fails again, well, 2 more months, unless someone dispels it or the caster cancels it. So, yeah, an average person gets a check every 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Charm Person is one of the strongest low-level spells in this game because it gives you access to a person in an almost unreasonable way. And anything that person has access to, you now potentially have access to. Be it knowledge, be it a space, be it an item. Worded correctly, this person will do almost anything for you. Worded correctly. So it is one of the most powerful things in the game. And unlike the wizard version, this works on animals too. Now, is it going to work on monsters? No, there's a charm monster spell for that, but it'll work on animals just fine. Like if you are being attacked by a lion, charm the lion. The lion is now your friend. Yay, Simba. And what's a lion's intelligence? Like 4? So, that's going to be months.
It might even be 0 or 1.
It all depends, yeah. If the subject of the charm person or mammal spell successfully rolls a saving throw, effects negated, sure. If this spell, if used in conjunction with animal friendship, can keep the animal near the caster's home base if the caster must leave for an extended period. Okay, it even gives you, joint uses for other spell, like animal friendship plus this means that you now have a guard dog or lion or bear or oh my. Right? So this spell has amazing utility. I love it. I use it as much as possible whenever appropriate, and sometimes not when not appropriate. and it almost never failed me. All right, so we have learned. What have we learned today? We've learned how spells are described, the important parts, the range, what sphere, what school, is it reversible, casting time, area of effect, and then the spell description. Does it do damage or does it have effect? What does it do? We now know how to read all that, so we can now arm our casters with all the things they need to go off and be adventurers and ride off into the sunset with the girl who you probably shouldn't have charmed.
Why not?
Because she's going to turn on you one day and she might not like it.
Or she may realize that you're such an outstanding guy, you didn't even need to do that.
Yeah.
That's how that always works out.
Happens all the time.
I don't think I started anything. Let me check. Or maybe I started one. Nope, I didn't start anything. So, yeah. Again, there were a few comments in there, but nothing that I wanted to put up on here. One of them I was going to argue with, but I'm not going to. So, we'll just leave it at that. Today is going to be a really long day because I know my 2 segments.
It's already 5. Damn it.
My 2 segments aren't short, which is why I only have 2. Okay, let's. All right. Well, what did you think? What are you covering next week? What's left in this book, man?
Oh, we got some stuff left. I think next technically is experience.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. Yes, experience, then combat, which is weird because you think combat comes before experience, but not in this book.
And how many segments is combat going to be? Because I'm already paging through it. This is kind of.
It's only going to be one. It's only going to be one segment.
Oh, okay.
Just one, because it's only 2 pages.
What? Combat?
No, experience. Combat.
Yeah.
Combat's going to be like 18, 20, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So basically, you're going to start it next week, and it's going to, or not next week, the week after, and it's going to have
be the end of the year. Yeah.
Okay, to the year. I don't know. We can still sneak in Earth Dawn.
Sure.
Anyway, with that, please like, subscribe, and share. Look forward to talking to you all about experience next week. When to give experience points, when not to, when to tell the character ha or the player ha. You don't deserve any. And if there are any idiosyncrasies, I don't think they're in the player's handbook. I might be wrong about that, but like the DMG, where you give the rogue type characters this type of experience, and you give the fighter type characters that type of experience. We'll find out all about that next week. Talk to you then.